Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be unboxing a collector edition of Utawarerumono Zan. Utawarerumono is my favorite visual novel series of all time, and I will argue the best visual novel series of all time. Comment if you recommend a different title for the throne of Top VN. If you're not familiar with the Utawarerumono games, I will do a mini review after the unboxing to discuss the main charms of the game, combat system, and more. Let's get to this unboxing. So as you can see, we've got here the lovely cover. It's got all of your characters on it. It's got Haku, it's got Kwon, it's got Nosuri, the twins, Ururu and Sarana, Atui. For some reason, oh, I see Rulu here. I was gonna say I don't see Rulu, but she's like very small over here. Nakone, Jacques, I believe his name was. And then the only character I'm blanking on is like Arrow Boy for some reason. I think his name started with a K though. Kiryu? I think his name was Kiryu. So we got our characters. On the back, we've got, you know, Haku and Kwon. It looks very cute. I almost thought he was hugging her, but I don't think they're actually making contact. They're just standing next to each other, I think. A little bit of like in-game pictures, a lot of Japanese text. This is definitely a very Japanese version. It legit says for Japan only down here. Let's open it up and see what's up. So when you remove the cover, the first thing you see, or at least I see, I already opened this before. I don't know if this was how it came originally, but the first thing you see is the art book. Yeah, it's probably the first thing you should see. And this is the main reason that I got it. I already have these games in their English versions, so I didn't really need the game itself. This is a remake of the second game of the Utawarerumono series, Mask of Deception, if I read my information correctly. I already played it, so this Japanese version is not of much use. It seems like they might have changed the art style a little bit, but I'm not sure what all the differences are with the remake. But the main reason I bought this collector's edition was for all the other stuff. So let's show off all the other stuff. Art book has Kwon on it, on the cover. Very pretty. I'm not like the biggest Kwon simp in the world, like compared to the other girls, but you know, I'll still simp her pretty hard. She's holding a kunai. She thinks she's a Naruto character. Open it up, and we've got all of our characters. We got Haku, we've got Kwon, Nakone, Rulu. I'm pretty sure they're giving us like short descriptions of the characters that I can't read. If you're learning Japanese, this might be a good way to practice and further your studies. If you already know Japanese, good on you. We got Ashtor on the top. We got this guy. I forgot this guy's name. The dude with like the painted face. I think it started with an M or something, but I don't know, man. I love that guy, but I don't remember his name. Mororo? I think it was Mororo, something like that. Haku with the mask, pretending he's Ashtor. Kiryu again. We got Nosuri and her brother. I forgot her brothers. I keep saying I forget everyone's names and then I remember, but I don't know if this one's gonna come to me. You know, he was like my least used character whenever I chose characters to use, so cool dude, but you know, his waifus and other people. We got Jacques, we got the twins. Atui. Man, I don't even know who my best girl is, but Atui is like up there. She's a top contender for sure. And then we got this girl, Munechika. I almost was gonna say I forgot her name too, but no, I remember Munechika, man. H-O-T hot. Again, we got Haku next to Kwon, but without the background imagery or the background colors, just plain white page. We have the twins. Not gonna lie, I don't know which one is which. I just know that they're Ururu and Sarana. I don't think I ever knew which one was which, not even while I was playing the game, because they were always together. They were almost never separate. They do separate briefly in the third game, Mask of Truth, but at that point, it's just you're basically one person. You're Ururu Sarana. That's gonna be your full name. You're basically one person. I love them though. On the right side here, we got all of our protagonists. We got Haku with the Ashtor mask in front. For some reason, it looked like Kwon was wearing a mask for a second, but it's just that there's like shading over her face. The twins are very small in the middle in front of Rulutie. Tui's up top. All your characters there, and behind them is that dude with all the fire powers. I forgot what his name was. I think it started with a V, but I doubt it's gonna come to me, man. Virai? Oh my god, I can't believe it came to me. I'm like, I don't know their names. Oh, but I do know their names. Yeah, Virai, there you go. OP guy. We got Nakone with a bunch of cute little birds, you know, her Pokemon. Tui, it almost looks like a colored sketch or like some sort of watercolor painting or something. Very interesting, unique art style. We got a black and white Nosuri. We got 3 Anjus on the right side. And then we got Ashtor and Vurai. Well, I should say Haku and Vurai, right? On the left. The great battle. It's like some borderline, like, Sasuke versus Naruto imagery, it almost feels like. Everybody drinking and having a good time. With Nakone in the background being too young to drink, so she's just, watching on with that sort of... I don't even know what to call that expression, like... just unamused, I guess. And we see Mororo on the right page in the background. He's like laid out drunk already. Man, that's a really good, heartwarming image. Like, I could picture them actually doing that. That's very fitting. I don't know what this is on the right. Some sort of weird cat thing. I bet somebody's gonna be like, nah, it's cute, bro, but that's on you. Got Kwon on the left. The twins on the right, and then little chibis on the left. I wish I could read the text, because that would probably add a lot to what I'm seeing, but without being able to read it, it's kind of, you know, all you could appreciate is the art. So that's kind of a little bit of a setback. We got a Tui on the right, some nice cleavage, black and white. And then on the left, a few other things. We got a... What's that guy's name, man? He is one of the general dudes. Oh man, he's friends with Ashtor. It's kind of like also Ashtor's rival. Forgot his name. I don't know if that one will come to me. Usually if I remember the first letter of their names, I can remember the rest. But with him, I don't even think I can remember the first letter, unfortunately. He's a cool, very cool character. So it's not like I forgot him because he's not cool. It's just, you know, they all have such unique names, and I haven't played this game in a year. A lot more like sketching on the right of like little smaller art pieces, I guess. Some look kind of chibi-ish on top, and then the bottom ones don't look very chibi-ish. On the left, I don't know what that is. It might not even be an Utawarerumono character. The fact that she has a bell makes me think Nekopara, but I know that's not a Nekopara girl. Some Munia Chica. A lot of Japanese text. Apparently some sort of comic book. Has the blonde girl on the top right panel. Forgot what her name was. I know, I'm bad. I'm really bad at names. And she's holding a baby. That baby makes sense if you know the story. I won't spoil. So I guess this is sort of like a canon. Maybe they have a manga. Maybe this is just like an excerpt from the manga. I know they have an anime for Utawarerumono. So I'm guessing they have a manga as well. Some more Kwon and Anju. Have your pick. You could either choose an of-age waifu, or if you're into lollies, then you get some Anju. That pick on the right I really like. With Anju jumping in between Haku and Ashtor. That's a really fire pick. And then the pick of Haku with Nakone. Very cute. That's very heartwarming too, man. If you ever played these games, or if you've already played them, just the bond development between Haku and Nakone is the most wholesome thing in the world. You probably don't expect it to be because she's a lolly and you're like, uh-oh, where's this going? But it's the most wholesome thing in the world. Alright, we got the twins on the right. This is what I remember. These two images are what I remember from the first time I opened the art book. These two images were hands down my favorite. Got the twins on the right under... I want to say they're under the sheets, but they could also be under that roby thing that they wore in Mask of Deception. And then we got Rulutia on the left. Very cute. Holding, I don't know what that is. I would assume it's like an olive branch, but like a sakura branch. I would assume it's like a symbol of peace or something. And some more Japanese text. Very cool. And then in here we have the soundtrack. I guess I gotta open it to see what songs are on it. Usually they tell you when you open these things. Oh, well, so last time when I did an unboxing of Little Witch No Better, they had the titles in English, but this doesn't do that. So all I know is that there's 24 tracks on here, and they're all in kanji, so I can't really read those. And we got this image on the disc of Kon and Nakone. Kinda looks like Nakone's got some little oppai here, which you don't really see in other images of the game. And I guess you can see it here because their outfit's a little different. It's not really the robes, it's more like a shirt. So, quite a different art piece here. And then underneath it all is whatever the heck this is. I genuinely don't know. It's like this hard, thick plastic thing. Oh, I think it's like almost like an acrylic stand, I guess. I've never had an acrylic stand, so I don't really know what they're like. But it's like hard plastic. So this is the base on the left side, and on the right side you have Nakone and the animals. And I guess you stick it into the base and you can stand it up somewhere and decorate it. I'm not going to do that because... I don't know, this almost feels fragile, so I'm just going to put it back away safely. But very cute. Okay, so that's everything for the collector's edition. The art book for me was the main pull. I didn't even know that it was going to have that sort of plastic figure stand thingy decoration. And the soundtrack, very cool, but you know, I could just listen to that on YouTube. So art book was the main pull for me personally. Okay, so I guess now I'll talk a little bit about the game itself. Utawarerumono takes place mostly in what I would consider a fantasy-like setting with unusual animals, small villages, and bigger cities. However, there are also some sci-fi elements that I won't get into, since that's part of what adds mystery and intrigue to the game. You might be sold already since it has fantasy and sci-fi, which means a bit of something for everyone. But we haven't even gotten started on the cute girls, the mandatory lollies that come with most harems, the borderline hentai girls, the bath scenes, and of course, the boys for the ladies. And it doesn't stop there. In addition to having all the waifus and husbandos you can dream of, the game is full of comedy, whether it's Atui's lewd innuendos, Sarana and Ururu's more straightforward lewd remarks, Atui's violent humor, or much more. And I can't emphasize enough how there really is much more. But I can't dive too deep into the humor without giving context and spoilers, since most of the comedy and charm comes from understanding and appreciating each individual character, and how well connected they are to the rest of their friends. Yes, I'm saying the character relations are well built in this game. The gameplay style is sort of like a strategy game. Yes, I have criticized this gameplay style before, especially in my recent $1,000 unboxing of anime figures, but this game does the moving square by square thing quite well. There's a bit of a Pokemon element to it with elemental advantages. Have your water characters attack fire enemies, etc. You also gain advantages based on the position you attack from. So you deal the least damage when you attack an enemy from the front, and double the damage if you attack them from behind. A mechanic that took a while for me to pick up on since I'm good looking and thus quite dense. And you also have other amazing mechanics, like finishing moves to show off your unique fighting styles, and full strength for co-op strikes to demonstrate how well you can coordinate with your allies. Additionally, you can strengthen your characters by allotting points to stats like HP, strength, defense, or speed, and you can give them items to increase their defense or provide other perks. Another amazing aspect of this game is the soundtrack. I'll drop links in the description if you want to check some of my recommendations, as maybe the music alone will rope you into the series. If you like anime intros, listen to the opening music of the third game, Mask of Truth. If you enjoy relaxing music, listen to The Lords in White. Or if you want that bad ASS battle music, try out Wildfire. Lastly, I'll explain the play order. The story starts with Utawarerumono Prelude to the Fallen. After that, we have Mask of Deception, followed by Mask of Truth. The second and third games follow a different cast of characters from the first, with characters from the first game occasionally making appearances. And you will notice that I have a strong bias in favor of the second and third game, based on my music choices and the screenshots or gameplay I've shared, because those games are where the story really picked up for me. The games are available all on PS4. They can also be purchased for PS Vita or on Steam if you're not a PS4 main like I am. Thanks everyone for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, live streams, shorts, and more. See ya.